As a child, we all long for a hero. As a society as a whole, we search for that leader that can be our hero. But as we mature and as we grow, it dawned on us that the hero is inside every one of us. And in the world's social media, we all start at zero. And slowly we search deep within ourselves to find who we are. And we have that moment of truth where we embrace that the hero that we've been searching for has been there all along. It is living deep inside of every one of us. And we start embracing that journey and we become that hero that we search for.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode 74 of Zero to Hero. I gotta admit, I went a little bit selfish on you guys this time. I came across our next guest profile. I saw his product. I fell in love with it. I knew I had to bring him on the show. So he is the CEO and owner of Perfect Hands Golf. His name is Mario Karagianis. So let's go ahead and bring him in. Mario, how are you this morning, sir?
Doing great, Jano. How are you?
Excellent. So as I mentioned, I'm very excited to have you on. I love the product. Tell everybody a little bit about what's going on there at Perfect Hands Golf and about the swing aid.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Perfect Hands Golf, what it is it's a revolutionary swing and strength trainer combined that really emphasizes your body's natural range of motion. So, instead of focusing on one section of a golf swing where there's 15, 20 different ones that you got to think about at the same time, it really allows your mind and body to work together throughout the entire golf swing to allow you to really generate a feeling of a tour player swing with minimal thinking. Um, it comes with a glove, with the new system that's going to be launched here in a week. It comes with two gloves, a belt, four acceleration bands for continuous progression, a 10, 20, 30, and 40-pound resistant band, and a carry case. So the idea is it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how old you are, how tall you are, how short you are, thin, skinny, big. It's universal to absolutely everybody, and it really allows you the opportunity to bring out your best swing that might be hidden dormant that you're just not aware that you're even capable of doing. It really gives you the ability to challenge yourself as opposed to being hooked into some machine that's going to make you turn or rotate in a way that's just not comfortable. It just simply does what it says it will do. And I'm excited to talk about it a little bit more with you.
Yeah, so obviously everybody's golf swing is different, right? So there's no
Mhm.
like set way to like do this and it'll improve, your swing or anything like that. But this really seems like it's fit to the player, right? To where the player can really use their swing, right? Get that little bit better feeling of their own swing, and then obviously it's got some strength aspects to it as well, which anybody that follows the golf works outs knows that they're all kind of wonky and weird and you're doing weird things. So I love that, that it combines the two, right? Because it's, everybody obviously wants more distance, right? That's like the amateur player's dream is like, I want to hit the ball 7,000 yards, right? Which will never happen. But no, that's awesome. So it's got different strength bands to kind of progressively get that distance, or what's the thinking with the different strength bands?
Well, the whole concept started with resistance training. The way I created it, I picked up golf really late in my 20s and I really enjoyed the sport, but I had that traditional Caddyshack slice to where if I wanted the ball to land in the middle of the fairway, and all my friends can attest to this, but I would aim 90 degrees almost to the left to get it to come back around to land in the middle, and I would just hope it wouldn't roll over into the right rough or even further out of bounds. Um, Loved the game. I learned how to play it for the most part, but I just wasn't competitive because I was being outdriven by 100, 150 yards every shot. Got really good at chipping and putting because I had to stay somewhat competitive. But at the end of the day, I just wasn't really competitive. And I was buying a lot of drinks on the golf course because of losing. So I finally bit the bullet. I was a Division I athlete at Kansas State University. So I've always been able to pick up sports without any effort really. But golf is just a different beast because it truly is a game of millimeters. And so when I finally realized that, okay, this isn't something I can just pick up, went and bought all the swing trainers that exist out there, all the strength trainers. And to their credit, a lot of them did what they said they would do, but they would only focus on that one component. They would either focus on speed, or focus on weight shifting properly, or focus on coming in on plane. But none of them combined everything together, which was my problem, because I went to golf coaches after none of the training aids work, went to the golf tech program, which is wonderful. But that's where I found out what I was doing wrong. I never knew. And they hooked me up to their simulators, their KVS, and I saw that I was doing the double whammy of a person that has a bad slice. Not only did I come over the top, but I was also leaving my club face wide open. So here I am. I'm like, okay, now I know what I'm doing wrong. This isn't going to be hard for me to change. And notice that if I did a 25% or 50% backswing, I could control it. I'd hit dead straight. But anytime I engaged a full and powerful swing, my mind and body could not communicate in that real time, and I just fell right back into bad habits. So that's when I was just like, all right, what can I create that I know will safely train me to not only be able to execute a full powerful swing, but to come to the exact same spot every single time in that swing. And that's kind of how the concept of perfect hands came to. I thought of it back in 2016, actually. So it was a while ago. It just took some time to develop it, build it, and then COVID hit, which put a big damper on things, about delayed everything 2 years. But we launched officially in November, and then since the PGA show at the end of January, it's kind of our mentality was really walk before you crawl. Let's do this the right way, to dead sprint drinking from a fire hose from since then. And now we're working with a number of great organizations that are known nationally and worldwide. We have a number of great brand ambassadors, not only from the professional side of PGA, Corn Ferry Tour players, and working on some others right now, but also a number of world long drivers, top 100 ranks, and a couple top 15 ranked as well. Because again, it just simply does what it says it will do. Um, One of the main things that I really had a big problem with was, even with coaches that I went to before, is they would tell me, you see, if you want to swing like Tiger, you want to swing like Rory, you want to swing like,
Right.
you want to swing like Phil. But in analyzing them, because I'm a very analytical person, every single one of them have a different swing. So which one am I supposed to emulate?
Right,
So,
right.
and that's why I was like, okay, this needs to be something that will relate to anybody, that won't harm them, and will truly just bring out their best versions of themselves in their golf swing. And what we guarantee, and we stand by it, just not from being egomaniacs or anything like that, but simply because we can do it based on the thousands of demos that we've done now and getting zero negative feedback, is that we guarantee that within 4 weeks, if not sooner, not only will you increase your club head speed by 8 to 10 mile an hour per club, but we will, while staying on plane. And that's the kicker,
Right.
because the way it's designed is that initial setup, you're being pulled, the resistant band is being pulled through the point of contact with the ball, through your point of address in the impact zone. So no matter where you go, how far back you go in your backswing, when you swing as hard as you can, you're being pulled to that same exact spot every single time. So through that consistent repetition, you're training your body and your mind to work together to make this your new swing consistently. So when we do our demos, and anybody that has used it, we just hook them up. We tell us, give us 5 swings. Just give me 5 swings. That's it. We'll unhook you and you swing. And we promise you're going to feel a swing, a different swing, but in a positive way. And you're going to feel something that you've never felt before. And that's regardless of your level of tour player. Daniel Guest, he works with us a lot. He's a master coach. He's coached over 30,000 lessons. He's a top 100 coach. He's with I'm sorry, Imagine Golf, largest golf academy in the tri-state area. He's pretty much anti-training aids, and he'll admit that, just simply because a lot of them, they might fix one thing, but when you're fixing that one thing, you're losing the other things that you are part of the golf swing. And then when you go to something else to work on, because it's not working together, yeah, now you fix this one, but now you lost what you just worked on here. So until perfect hands, and he'll attest to it, there's not really training aids that really work biomechanically throughout the entire golf swing and allow the mind and body to truly feel what it should be doing. But again, based on your natural swing. So typically we hook people up, give them those 5 swings, unhook, and they're like, whoa, or okay, I had an idea, I wasn't expecting that. And then they're interested. Then they click back in, and then they start challenging themselves, and that's really all it takes. It's not a problem, but the the hurdle that we have right now, being new, is getting word of mouth, getting it out there, and we're doing everything right. We're pairing up with all the great people like Daniel Guess with Imagine Golf, um, Kaiser University, which they're part of the NAIA, which has endorsed us nationally for their men's and women's programs as their official swing and strength trainer. But Kaiser University, the assistant head coach there, Isaiah Logue, I met him at the PGA show, and Perfect Hands, and he has a testimony on our website that it really made him love the game of golf again. I mean, he was on the leaderboard at a number of amateur, pro, Korn Ferry, and then something happened. And I mean, he's very honest about it. Love the guy. He's great. Just a real down to earth person. And he just said, I don't know what happened. I was self taught my whole life, and then something happened. And I went to training aids, bit the bullet, went to coaches, and still never worked. And I kind of, I wasn't good enough to compete. So, when he found Perfect Hands at the PGA show, he was like, "This is incredible. I want you to come down and meet with my team, and like, so they can all start using it." And now, because of the increases in not just accuracy, that he's back to where he was, but he's now hitting the ball 20, 30 yards further than he's ever hit, even in his prime. And now he's qualifying to get his tour card back and going that route. Um, like same thing with a number of long drivers like Matt Thorman, Ben Castman. I'm working with Wes Patterson right now. Bobby Ray, these are top 15, Bobby Ray and Wes, but working with them right now. They're in the initial stages, but they've kind of have it's the same mentality every single time. Somebody uses it. Doesn't matter if you're a pro, doesn't matter if you're a beginner. You just feel something. And a lot of swing trainers or strength trainers out there are really afraid to encourage their customers to use technology while they're using their devices because it will expose them. But we encourage, if anybody has a TrackMan, a GC Quad, any type of simulator that will register true and live data, oh man, that's when we really love doing these demos and really love working people, because they get the immediate um, information back to them to justify what they're feeling.
Yeah.
And that's when it's like, okay, you can't fake that. And that's where it gets really exciting, and why we have so many brand ambassadors now that are reaching out saying, hey, I love your product. What can I do to work with you? Um, so yeah, and
Beautiful.
that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, and I don't know if these are all brand ambassadors, but you've got some raging fans that are in the comments here. I mean, everybody is talking about how this is a game changer, 10-mile-an-hour more ball speed, right? Matt Thorman's out there saying it's a game changer, right? So it's definitely a beautiful thing, and anything really, that can take the mind out of the swing, right? But then obviously while increasing that ball speed is going to be a game changer for sure, right? I mean, any amateur golfer knows you step up to a ball, you address a ball, and you've got 10,000 thoughts that are going through your head, right? Especially if you've seen videos and you've been to the coaches, right? You've done all the things, right? There's a million voices there. But then you just go listen to Tiger, right? And Tiger's like, hey, it's a feel game. I go off a feel, right? That's all it
Exactly.
is. So until you can really get that feel, that's gonna take that mind out of it. What are you
Yeah.
gonna do? So this
And
is a
it's,
beautiful.
you hit it right on the head. A number of golfers, especially, I mean, you're weekend warriors. You're not
Yeah,
everyday golfers. You're not pros. You are, in a way, because you know what your ball's going to do if you really go at it. You don't. You sacrifice your range of motion and your distance to get accuracy, which you should if you can't control it. But what Perfect Hands does is it allows you to train yourself and your body to execute that full, powerful swing every single time, like you should. And then what you're going to notice in a very, very short period of time is that your shot direction is going to go from a slice to back to neutral, or a hook back to neutral. And it's just because of the way the system is designed. It works with your body. It doesn't work against you, and it doesn't harm you. It allows you to go to what you're physically capable to do. And then you notice if you have some issues with rotation because of some injuries, you're going to notice that with that repetition and with that through that resistance training, your range of motion is going to get 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, 4 degree, more and more and more. But you're not realizing it until you see the data and you physically and visually watch yourself on camera coming back, because you think you're still doing the same thing because that's just what you've been doing. But when you look, you'll notice you're so much further back in your backswing, which is going to generate the ability to get more club head speed, but it's pulling you through the impact zone. So it's training you to also finish that shot. So the only thing we ever apologize for, and we do this up front, is one, you're just going to have to figure out where your new point of address is, because you're coming through so much faster. You need to adjust the ball a little bit more to your front foot. But after that, the other thing we'll apologize for is you're going to have to recalibrate all your clubs, because if you don't, you're going to flight a lot of greens, and you don't want that. So you're going to have to
Right.
figure out how far all your clubs going, because it works with absolutely every single club except your putter, because we don't want to accelerate that.
Right.
But our motto now is we're going to get you to the green in play. From there, it's up to you. And that's kind of where coaches that truly understand the game and want to better the game love this product, because they know that if they introduce it to their students, they immediately are going to get that credibility from that individual student and trust, because wow, my coach gave me this, my coach is the one that introduced this to me, my coach did this for me. So now the coaches love it, because now they have this more fine polished athlete or golfer. So they're not having to work on not coming over the top, leaving club face wide open, coming in too shallow, flipping your wrist at the end, finishing your shot, making sure your weight transfers where it should be correctly, making sure you get the proper hip rotation, making sure you keep your posture. They don't have to spend their time doing this, which is where a lot of coaches lose students, because unless the student is going 3 times a week and doing those little things and truly doing it at home on their own, then they're not going to see results, and they're not going to want to keep going back to the coach. But through Perfect Hands, it allows them to very quickly get all those things. So now the coaches can work on the true technical things of the golf game, the 30 yards and in, which is where they're going to lower their handicaps, and they're going to start shooting. If they're 100 plus, or they're going to shoot in the 90s, and they're going to shoot in the 80s, and they're going to shoot in the 70s. And it's just consistently just getting better and better and better with every swing you make while connected.
I love that. So when's the Perfect Hands golf putting trainer coming out? When are we getting that?
Well, I don't think there will be one, just because there are a number of great
Yeah.
putting tools out there,
There's
and
a
putting
ton.
is an entire different beast in its own.
Right.
I just like, my focus point was I loved the game, but I would get frustrated. It was always that one shot out of 100 that kept me coming back. And I got tired of losing balls and spending thousands of dollars on training aids and more balls and then lessons, and for just nothing, for none of it to really work, because it wasn't catered to me as an individual.
Right.
Like, you can't tell somebody you need to be in this position in your backswing or at the top of your backswing, because they might not physically be able to get to that position. May not right now. Doesn't mean
Right.
they can't get there, but if they can't physically get there, it's discouraging, and it makes people doubt themselves and not want to play the game. And what I wanted to do is, because I love the game, I love every component about it, but mainly the checking yourself, being honest with yourself, holding yourself accountable. You have no one else to blame in golf. I mean, I'm guilty of it. This stupid club. Oh, that hole. All the excuses. Time to time in the past, may have used my foot wedge once or twice. But what I found is, even when I was doing those things, I was like, I'm not going to get better if I'm cheating myself.
Right.
How am I going to get better by doing that? So now it's great because I don't have to worry about being out of bounds or out of play. I'm typically within the fairway unless there's some wind that I didn't account for, or I didn't line up correctly. And I'm going to get there. If it's a par four, I'm going to get there in two. Par five, I'll get there in two or three. Par three, I'll get there in one instead of blading it and then taking four shots to get up onto the green. It just makes the game more enjoyable, which is going to make golfers want to play the game longer. And this is a game you can play your entire life as long as you don't have physical ailments. And it's just, I wanted to help grow it, and I wanted to help people that had my issues solve those problems so they can enjoy the game again.
Yeah, and it sounds like longer as well, right? I mean, I'm sure it's too new to put any claimers out there that you'll be able to play longer by using Perfect Hands Golf. But if you think about the flexibility standpoint of it, right, and the strength and all those kind of things, I'm one of those people that I'd love to play until I'm 85, 90, or until I can't go out anymore. But obviously our bodies are going to limit us in that way, so it's beautiful to have something out there that can help with that.
Well, you actually touched on something that we are um, about ready to launch with our new website that should be launched today. If not, it'll be launched tomorrow for sure, which is going to have a lot more information. But we've designed a workout program that is for anybody. And what it does is it allows you to condition your body to be able to sustain an entire round of golf without being fatigued or winded
That's
or
awesome.
off balance. It trains you to keep staying in control of your swing while executing this full and powerful swing. And it's just the mentality was like going to a gym, doing that consistent repetition. So there's a 10, 20, 30, 40 pound band. So we recommend everybody start with the 10 pound, no matter how strong you think you are. You're doing this at home. If it's a rainy day, you can do this anywhere. So inside, if you have a 8 foot, 9 foot ceiling anywhere in your house, get your pitching wedge, get your 9 iron, get any a 60 degree, whatever. You can train at home inside. If it's nice, go outside. You don't hit balls wearing this because it's counterproductive. Because if you're connected and you're hitting balls, the moment you unconnect and go to hit a ball, you're going to be coming through so much faster that the ball's going to shoot all over the place. So, but the workout program, it's day one, you get your baseline. So hook up into the 10 pounder, see how many swings that you can do continuously like a pendulum without stopping, but a full backswing, full powerful uh, approach, and hold that position for a half a second and then continue on. How many of those can you do consistently without being fatigued or off balance? And you have to be honest with yourself. If you notice you're doing a 75% backswing because you're getting tired, you've already plateaued. So let's say day one you get to 30 swings. Well, now the goal is to get to 50, but you do it in increments of five. So now let's get to 35 swings, 35, 40, 45, 50. And the reason why we chose 50 is because the average golfer, if they're in play, they will commit throughout a round of golf 50 full powerful swings on average. Pros are more like 35 to 40, 35, 45, but your everyday golfer is going to be between 45 and 50 to get to the green before you switch to those full powerful swings. So by training your body to get to that 50 swings without being fatigued or off balance, it gives you the ability to sustain an entire round of golf and condition your body. So when you're on the 10 pounder and you get to the 50 swings without being fatigued or tired, that's your internal sign that, okay, I've conditioned my body with this band. Now let me graduate to the next band, the 20 pounder. Start at 20 swings, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Okay, I've conditioned myself safely. Let's go to the 30 and so on, up and through the 40 pound band. Um, we work with a lot of people, got a lot of product out there. I don't know anybody that is honestly on the 40 pound band yet. And that's just, I mean, that just lets you know. I know a few that are on the 30 pound, but even them, they're getting stronger and stronger and stronger. One of my favorite people to use is Matt Thorman because you see he does a lot of posts because he wants to, the guy, his work ethic is incredible. And we have no problem working with anybody with that kind of work ethic because you should want to work with people that want to be better. And Matt, he, when he started with us about 3 months ago now, uh, he's on the World Long Drive. I think he was ranked 147th. He hasn't competed this year yet. He's competing this weekend actually in LaSalle at the World Long Drive there in Colorado. and he's beyond excited to be able to compete now, because when he first started, his ball speed was clocking in about 171.8 on average, but his smash factor or efficiency rating, meaning where are you at an impact, it was like a 1.2, like 25, which is not that good, and he'll tell you. But now, 3 months later, as of just a couple days ago at he post, his ball speed went from 171.8 or point 0.2. Now it's at 204.
Wow.
But his smash factor is a 1.47. And with driver, 1.5 is perfect. So it's almost a perfect shot while increasing 30 plus miles of ball speed
That's
simultaneously.
amazing.
And it's just because, and he's one of the guys that he just now, like a week or 2 weeks ago, got to the 30-pound band because he's honest with himself. Because all we have to say is do it once a day. I know 50 swings sounds like a lot, but if you're in control and you've conditioned your body, it takes less than 5 minutes. So all we say is you just have to do this once a day. No more, no less. If you can do more like Matt, where he'll be at work on his lunch break filming himself using it. I love the guy. But the more you can do it safely without harming yourself, the better. But that's what we say. Listen to your body, because it's going to tell you if you're doing too much. The last thing you want to do is harm yourself by doing too much or advancing to the 20 or 30-pound band before you're truly ready. And then now you're out of golf for a few weeks.
Right.
That's not what we want. So
Worst case,
tell
yeah.
everybody,
That's worst case scenario. You don't want to be not playing.
no, yeah, you're not competing against anybody. You're at home doing
Right.
this. I mean, you might go to the range and use it, but that's the beauty about this. You know you're on plane by when you go and hit balls. You know you fixed everything and you know where you're at. So instead of before a round going to the range and hitting 30, 40, 50 shots to get warm, you don't need to. You put this on, you swing 10, 15 swings to activate what you've already been training, just to expedite your warm up, and you're good to go. One of the main reasons why it expedites the warm up, not just from the resistance standpoint, but what a lot of people don't know, because the current website doesn't explain it very well, the new one does. The inside of the belt, I made the belt the width that I did because I have a triple fusion in my lower back. So I couldn't sustain a round of golf. By the time I got to the 15th hole, I was standing up in my shots because I just couldn't maintain that position.
Mm.
So I created the width to give support around the lower back, but also while you're training, if you start standing up in your swing, the top of the belt kind of touches into your upper back, which is kind of a subconsciously, it tells you, okay, I'm standing up. So it trains you to stay down. But the best part about that belt is the entire interior. I've lined it with a synthetic rubber, which it helps prevent the belt from slipping while using or shifting. But the main reason why I did it was through kinetic energy. Energy is transferred out of your body in the form of heat, and that synthetic rubber traps that heat. So while you're training, you're constantly heating up your core, so your muscles are able to fire and engage effectively, which are going to allow them to activate other muscles of the body in the golf swing more efficiently, like your glutes and your hamstring, which is where you get your power from. So when you put this on in the morning before a round, I mean, a 7 a.m. tee time, you're pretty stiff. Most people are.
Yeah.
You've been training with this, you put this on, you take 10, 15 swings, you're good. I mean, people just swinging the 5 and unhook, then they take the belt off and they're like, whoa, I feel great. I feel loose. And that just allows them to be able to have more hip rotation, really fire those hips into their downswing, and really just go at it every time. And being able to swing confidently because you know you're on plane. You already know where your new ball alignment position is per club. You know the new distances. So you don't have to go spend 30 minutes, an hour at the range to get warm and just tire yourself out.
Yeah, that is awesome. It takes the thinking out of it. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. And Matt, good luck this weekend, man. Go out there and smash them, hit them straight. That's awesome, man. Get out there and do it. I'm gonna have you here all day talking about this, Mario. I got to get you out of here, get you back to your day. So let's get into the meat of the show here.
Okay.
So outside of Perfect Hands Golf, right? Who is Mario Karagiani?
Well, I know a number of my friends and family members are watching this, probably, I would hope. But I'm a very transparent person. What you see is what you get. I've been called extra from time to time. Just because I grew up, I'm first generation Greek. I grew up four older brothers, two sisters, Greek family, youngest of five boys. You had to be loud and or you weren't heard. And we are a very passionate family, if you will. So we just I learned from a very young age that there's really no reason to make up or to lie about certain things because one, it's going to come back to you. And I found that out the hard way. There's some things that I've done in my life that I'm not proud of. I've tried to make amends for those things, and where I'm at now in life, I'm very happy. I have a beautiful wife. I have three kids. We just have a three tomorrow Saturday will be a 3 week old baby boy that's now with us.
That's
And
awesome.
we yeah, it's
Congratulations.
just life is good, and with perfect hands, getting the overwhelming love and support it's getting, not just from your everyday or your weekend warriors, but prominent, credible people in the industry. It's just life's good. Um, I'm a very black and white person. I'm a rule follower. I'm a structured individual. Um, I'm that guy that if I'm in a room and I hear somebody talking and I just hear nonsense, I'm the one that will turn around and say, "Well, that's not true because," just because I don't know. And I've had people tell me that I have a tendency to rub people the wrong way sometimes because of that. But the way I interpret that is if I'm saying something that's true and honest and you're bothered by that, more of a you thing, not me,
Right.
because I'm not saying anything that's not true or accurate. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not true. So, I mean, as a person, that's kind of how I emulate my life and what I try to instill in my 6 year old, well, almost 6 year old son, my almost 7 year old daughter, and I will instill in my new son, because those core values that shouldn't make up a person: integrity, honesty, being trustworthy, being respectful. Those are things that matter, and not just when you're young, but throughout life. And I learned a number of those things the hard way by a lot of mistakes that I did in my upbringing, but wouldn't change any of it because it made me who I am today. And I know I can stand here honestly and say that have something I have something to give to not only my kids but friends and families, and now with perfect hands to the golf community.
That's awesome. And you're leaving a legacy, obviously, with perfect hands in with your beautiful family as well. But I love that. I mean, you're authentically you, right? And there's nothing to apologize for that, especially if you're right. Right? There's absolutely nothing to apologize. So I love that. And we're gonna make mistakes, right? If we're not making mistakes, we're not learning half the lessons that we're meant to learn. So that kind of brings us into our next question, which I'm gonna ask you to tell me about your social media journey a little bit. Okay, so this is one of those things where I think people are scared to make a lot of mistakes, especially starting out with 0 followers, right? Which is kind of absurd when you think about it because nobody's looking at you yet, right? That's the time to make
Yeah.
mistakes. But tell us about your social media journey, what it's been like, starting a business page, right? And starting that from zero and where you're at now.
Well, again, going back to me being transparent, my business page is handled a lot more by my wife. She is the
Sure.
social media genius, but my LinkedIn account, that is me. And
Okay.
I built that following myself. I mean, when social media became what it was, my whole professional career until Perfect Hands, I've been in the health industry in some capacity, more on a sales and consultant type role. And what I realized is that you really need to build strong relationships with individuals, and that's why I like the LinkedIn platform, because it is about being professional. I mean, it's starting to turn a little more political here and there, which I don't like because you really should keep politics out of business. It's just a smart thing to do. But I know, or personal feelings and things like that. But I wanted to make sure that I was reaching out to the individuals that were in my network or in my industry that could really add to my network that I would want to follow and hear about if they had something to say. And that's I don't I, in the past I didn't post much, but we post a lot more now on LinkedIn because of Perfect Hands and it's building the business. But our followers since Perfect Hands, at least from the LinkedIn standpoint, and in Facebook, Instagram, they've grown. It's been growing, and now that we have brand ambassadors like Ben Castman, Matt Foreman, Trey Cox, who's on the Corn Ferry Tour, he's just now recently became jumped on board as a brand ambassador for us. Isaiah Lowe, Dana Confessor, um, and if I miss you, Brian Riley, my apologies. Every day we get more and more and more. Matt Kessler just I met with him last week. He's a local guy here in KC, and he wants to kind of add to his golf journey as well. And he saw us, and he's like, "I'd really love to work with you." Met with him, built, and just it's just about making those connections and doing it the right way. Be honest with people. And been able to grow my LinkedIn following is I think like 7,600, almost 8,000. And that might not sound like a lot, but for somebody that did it slowly over the past 6, 7 years through healthcare, but then in the past 6 months with Perfect Hands have gained 2,500 followers. It's just because I don't just go through and like a robot and click, 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 click. I research, I look at who I'm going to request to connect with, send them a message, let them know, like, hey, I'd really love to connect with you. We have things that are obviously in common. I feel like I can help you and your students. Let's connect. And because I do it that way, and it's not just blasting and roboting people, I've gotten a lot of support, overwhelming support, and it's just growing more and more and more every day.
That's awesome. Yeah, and that's really what it comes down to with social media, right? Is building that online community, right, of people that have like interests as you. So that's you're absolutely nailing it. And I spent a lot of time on LinkedIn, and you're crushing the game. If you've added 2,500 people in the last 6 months, that's absolutely amazing. But let's get on to the next question here, Mario. Now, every superhero has a defining moment. What do you think yours is when it comes to your life and career?
Oh, that's a great question. And on my LinkedIn post, I did inform people that you did not share anything you were asking me. So, and a lot of my friends were like, "Oh boy." Um, I think a defining point in my life would be two things. One, my the person I call my mother is my stepmother, and she she's a character, and you either love her or you hate her. And you might do both throughout your entire life with her. But she is somebody that really, in a way, saved me. I have my four older brothers. I watched up growing up wanting to be like them, obviously, especially my oldest brother George. Um, really football minded. He would spend time with me that no one else would. I mean, -10 degrees in a blizzard, going out to tennis courts with lights out in Wichita, Kansas, just throwing me balls so I could work on being a wide receiver. But my mom, she really instilled the morality and ethics that I believe in today. I truly do. Um, she she took on 5 boys. If if anybody understands having one or two boys, taking on five is something that most can't even fathom. And she did it because I know she undoubtedly loves my father, and my father loves her unconditionally as well. But I was the youngest of the boys, so I was with her the longest. So she was very, very hard on me. There was times that my brothers would tease me and call me Cinderella because my mom would make me clean the house, make me mow the yard, make me do the dishes, make me do everyone's laundry. And as a kid, I was like, man, this woman hates me. What did I do to her? But I was always striving to do it, to excel at it. So like to make her happy and to earn her trust like most kids would. But now looking back on life, I notice now that everything that she was doing for me where I thought it was mean, now I have nothing but the utmost respect for her because um, if it wasn't for her, I probably would have went down a path that I shouldn't have. And she really, really worked really at a younger age from when I was 7, kind of got me on the right path. That was the first one. And then going into high school, my family, we had a reputation of kind of being troublemakers. And when I went to high school, I already had 4 brothers that went there before me, so my name carried some weight.
Got a reputation.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but not a good one.
Right.
um, but they when I got there my freshman year, my first semester freshman year, I kind of started doing those same patterns. And my mom and dad pulled me aside and they said, "You better knock this crap off because you have a lot of potential. You're a smart kid." And I just said, "You know what? All right, kind of like with my perfect hands, what can I do to change this?" And the ROTC program, which is a military program, that just got introduced the year before, and a lot of people were going to make fun of that participate in it. But one thing I could see is that there was structure, there was discipline, there was commitment, that trained you to be self accountable, and I liked it, so I joined it. And Lieutenant Colonel Larry Burks and Sergeant Major Isaac Fields. I haven't spoken to either of them in a really long time, and if you guys ever get this, thank you. I've told you guys both this personally. 5, 10 years after when I went back to thank them, but they really got me on the right path and showed me that I could become anything I wanted to be if I just had did the simple things in life and do it the right way. So if I had to pick 2 defining moments that changed me as a person, I would say it would be those 2. Now, don't get
That's
me
awesome.
wrong. Since high school, I've made a number of mistakes, and I've done things that I am not proud of, just like anybody.
Right.
And if anybody can honestly come on to a show like this or any platform and pretend that they're perfect, then that's your sign you should hit the end button
Oh, I'm kicking them
because
right off. Absolutely.
because the point of platforms like this is to be honest so people can know your genuine self. And um, there's people that I've reached out to and apologized to for my actions, and some have been receptive, some haven't been. But um, when I met my wife, she really it was the first time I realized I found my person because we both have very very similar upbringings. Even though I was from Wichita, Kansas, and she was from Sabetha, Kansas, the core values that we both grew up with were very similar, and the way our family the dynamic um, was a little different because she didn't have stepbrothers or stepsisters, but the things that we both went through from a young age into now are like hit every single spot. We just have so much that we relate to with each other. But when I met her, I very quickly knew that she was my person. Not because she's gorgeous, because she is, and not because she's funny and fun to be around and has, um, she's just a wonderful mother, but because when I met her, I didn't want to waste my time anymore. And for the first 3 hours, I did a complete vomit of the mouth on her and didn't let her speak. Um, and at the end, she still wanted to talk to me and still wanted to be there. She didn't run out the door. And I was very, very transparent with anything and anything that could ever come up from my past. And she was receptive to it. And that really made me feel not only safe, but know that this is my person. Now we've had our struggles, and anybody that knows us can attest to that. But where others will try to bury the issue at hand, we are really good at bringing it up immediately so it doesn't fester, so it doesn't get worse. So let's get it out there so we can get past it. And it's been great. And now we have this beautiful newborn baby boy, and he's a joy. And I can't be happier right now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Does he already have a set of golf clubs at 3?
No, but my Daniel Guest, the gentleman that I mentioned earlier with Imagine Golf, when we were on site filming the new website, him and his wife Colleen, they were nice and they brought a gift. They didn't need to, but they brought me a gift, and it's an outfit that says "Daddy's Caddy."
Love it. That's so
So
cute.
he's not quite yet big enough to wear it, but the moment he is, he's going to be in that outfit.
Gotta get him in it for sure. No,
Yeah,
that's awesome. And I love you being vulnerable and being honest, right? About the mistakes, that you've made and in your relationship with your wife. I think it's one of those things, people look at husbands and wives that kind of go back and forth, right? And bring up those issues, right? And get those out on the front as having, problems. And it's if you're not getting at each other a little bit, there's no passion, I promise you.
nope,
Right? So find somebody that you're able to find that passion with, right? And it's okay at the end of the day when you get into each other a little bit, because that's life, right? And you care. So that's
absolutely.
awesome. And the ROTC guys, absolutely. I'm a Marine myself, so I know what that discipline's like and what those guys will put into you for sure. Shout out to those guys. That's awesome.
Yep.
Mario, on to the next question here. What are the attributes that you really feel define here? And I think you hit on a couple of these already, but go ahead and just talk on it purely from that question.
Sorry, it broke up a little bit. I apologize.
That's
I
okay.
heard.
Yeah, what are the attributes that you feel define what a hero is?
Oh, that's good. I mean, that's really not a difficult question if you just look at the face value. I mean, integrity, um, willing to protect others, willing to step up and stand up for others that aren't able to do so, and not just from a physical component, but verbally as well. Loyalty, um, trust, and just do the right thing. I mean, um, most superheroes, where they're kind of shifting now, um, to what they used to be, but the classic superheroes, they always just did the right thing, and I feel like those are the attributes that should encompass a superhero.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You're 100% right on there. Shout out to Sonny. I mean, his son, age 9, increased his driving distance by 55 yards using
Yeah,
perfect hands
Tristan,
golf. That's
Tristan,
awesome.
man, he's a firecracker, but he's one of those kids that he'll be goofy, and then he'll be holding the club, be goofy, plant his feet, then he's serious for that 2.5 seconds and just hits a bomb and then goes right back to being goofy.
I love it. That's so awesome.
But he's a
What
great
more do you
kid.
want out of a golfer kid, man? That's awesome.
Yeah, right. And Sonny has his hands full, but Sonny's a great father. He's really guiding him the way he should, and he doesn't push anything onto him, which I love.
Yeah.
Same thing with Matthew Brundon here in Kansas City. His daughter, Peyton, she's 9 years old as well, and she's a top-rated, ranked golfer in the world as well, and she's similar. Just really good kids, but you can see where they get it from because of how their parents are working with them. um, I've been working with Sonny and Tristan now for about 2.5, 3 months now, since we were our partnership with the Junior Tour Dallas, which is powered by Under Armour. We were there on site, met them, and they were playing around, and they were in competition, and they came over before the round and just tried it really quick. And in just that very short period of time, Tristan had like a level of confidence at going at the ball that he hadn't. And since then, like you said, Sonny, I mean, he's gained 55, 60 yards of flight and than what he wouldn't, that he didn't have, and not just driver, but with all of his clubs. And Sonny texted me the other day, and he was like, "Man, this is great, but I'm gonna have to get new clubs now again, and now he keeps flighting the greens, so we're constantly recalibrating." But those are good problems to have.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
no, he's a great father. They have a great family. Tristan's a wonderful kid, and we're just excited to see uh, be a part of his journey as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Good job, Sonny, and yeah, keep it fun for the kids, man. I mean, we got to get more kids into this game, and if it's not
Yep,
fun for them, they're not gonna do it. So make it fun
yep,
for them. That's awesome.
yep.
All right, Mario.
And not just. Oh, go ahead. I
No,
apologize.
no, please go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, and we noticed that at the very beginning, that if I would have had something like this when I was younger, or even when I just started, a game of golf would have been a lot better and more fun. So that's why we partnered with the Junior Tour of Dallas, the Hurricane Junior Golf Tour, which is the world's largest golf tour for juniors. They both endorse us as their official swing and strength trainers for their whole tours. The Southern Texas PGA section, their juniors program, has endorsed us, and we're working on more and more and more every single day. And we're glad to, because it's about starting young, but it's also for adults as well and seniors. It's truly universal.
That is awesome. That's awesome. So last question here for you, Mario. If you had to pick any superhero that relates best to Mario Karagiani, who would that be? And give us a couple reasons why.
Oh God. Well, again, been very honest and transparent here on this show. Um, I would, and I've actually had this conversation with friends before. Um, I would, regardless of how the guy's character is, I'd be lying if I didn't say it, because he's out there. I'd probably have to say Deadpool.
I love it.
Just because, yeah, he might be a little bit more vulgar than I may or may not be in the situation or environment that I'm in. But what you see is what you get, and that's who I am, and that's what all my friends and families members and all these wonderful people that I've been working with is, they know that when they talk to me, and if I say something, that's what it is. I'm not feeding you a bunch of bull. I'm not trying to manipulate you into thinking something about myself or my family or my upbringing or my past or my product or my company. It's just what you see is what you get. And I'm going to do everything in my power to be transparent and be my genuine self, regardless of how that may or may not offend people. But again, it kind of goes back to one of my initial statements. If you're offended by what I'm saying, it's not anything. It's a you problem, because I'm not saying anything that's not true. You just don't want to hear it. And we can continue that. You can get mad at me, but just take some time, breathe about it, or take a deep breath and realize that I wasn't being malicious. I'm just being transparent, and let's talk about it. And I promise you, if we talk about it, we'll put anything negative away real quick and move forward and have just a great friendship, partnership, etc.
I love that. And you need that in golf, man. There's too many fluffy
Yeah.
people. That's a great swing. No, it wasn't. Let's be real. Let's be
No,
honest.
that was trash, pal.
I love it. Mario, you've been awesome, man. Thank you for coming on the show. Thanks for telling us about Perfect Hands Golf. I can't wait to get my hands on one and really feel that power, man. That's gonna be awesome.
Absolutely. Like I said, let's get you out here on a weekend here real soon, and just only take you 5 swings, and then you'll be hooked.
You don't have to tell me twice. I'm ready. Where can people follow Perfect Hands Golf? Where can they buy one? Where can they keep up with your journey?
Yeah. All of our social medias. We're on Facebook, and Facebook and Instagram right now. We're building a Twitter platform, but haven't officially launched it yet. And then obviously LinkedIn, and then our website is perfecthandsgolf.com. Perfect hands with an S, golf.com. If you go there, like I said, right now, our new website's going to be launched today or tomorrow. Should be today, but if you could hold off until tomorrow to go, just to be safe, please do so, because there's going to be it's completely different and a lot more than anything that's currently on there. A lot more information. There's a lot more videos that really truly highlight the benefits of everything that Perfect Hands is. But when you do go there, if you like it and you want to get a unit for yourself, use the code for this show 02hero20, all caps, and that'll get you 20% off your whole order. And yeah, if you want to send us a message, if you have any questions, please do so. I love, and my team loves interacting with customers. We don't care who you are. We don't prioritize a pro over a weekend warrior. As they come in, we talk to you, and it's not about making people feel less than. It's about making everybody feel equal, and have the same opportunities to play great golf.
I love it. I love it. Get out there and play. If you don't know how to get your hand on a Perfect Hands Golf unit, that should be your first step. I'm convinced at this point it's going to get you going through there properly. Mario, thanks again for coming on, man. You're absolutely awesome.
Thank you, Gino. I've thoroughly enjoyed being on the show. And thanks. I'm actually glad now you didn't give me the questions up front because I might have overthought it.
It's more fun when I get you on the spot. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
everybody
agree.
out there, thanks for tuning in. Great to talk with all you guys. Everybody out there, have a great day.
Hey, are we still live? Hey guys, we're still live. Hey guys, this is Kevin Kwok, founder of J29 Creative Group. So who are we? We're a marketing agency here in Kansas City. We're all about a holistic approach to marketing that builds your brand and nurtures online community. But to be honest with you, you guys don't care.